feel like you're in great rhythm.
Shot clock at 6. Bryant nails the three. Look at the determination on his face.
The game is just coming to you. You know, everything is just flowing.
Memo had that ball stripped away. It's tipped out. It's stolen away. Kobe tiptoes down the sideline, up and in.
It's effortless. It's just weightless. Things just they just happen. And it's a great feeling.
Bryant for three. Puts it in. Kobe Bryant from downtown. How in the world did he do that?
It's just practice. It's just being on top of your A game.
It is the zone that any person feels the peak of their performance. Athletes, musicians and dancers feel engaged with the situation, and movements and skills seem to flow naturally without any effort. Years ago, I struggled with some difficulties in my sport, which is soccer, and that was really tough for me because I was great in practice. I was really hard working. I was told that if I trained hard enough, I could reach my potential and become a great athlete. But this started to change when I played some important competition. It seems that all the skills I had was nothing because I choked during that situation. That made me more and more frustrated, to the point of even decreasing my desire to work hard. But even though I tried to make my best and continue to work towards my goals. Long story short, I spent months looking for a solution. It took me years of study to know what I had to do to solve that issue that was affecting my performance. That made me find out that what I was going through was common. And professional athletes, as you know, solve these kind of problems with mental training. I found out more. The athletes that went pro and couldn't deal with the routine of pro athletes solved their laziness by applying those things. And I started to wonder, how can I do the mental training? I didn't have the money to pay for a high-level mental training coach to help me with that, and also there was nothing on the internet that could help me with that issue. I was completely lost. I thought that was not fair. I was working hard, really hard, to achieve my goals, and that small issue that didn't seem that important to me was stopping me from achieving my goals. So I spent almost 2 years studying, doing research, and trying to find out all I could to apply to my performance and become a better athlete. I started to apply some of those drills into my routine and see the results that they brought me, and it was great results. To my surprise, I fell in love with studying those drills and psychology, and I even enrolled myself to take psychology on college and know more and more and continue to do research and increase my knowledge. I wanted to dive deeper into this matter. And one day I had the idea of sharing those things to help other athletes that were going through the exact same thing that I faced before, because I knew that several athletes were facing the same problems as I did and they had no idea about how to solve those things. Those problems could only be solved with mental training. So now I had a mission. I committed myself to share these ideas and help as many athletes as I could around the world. It took me a lot of years, a lot of money, buying courses, reading books, talking to experienced athletes and amateur athletes to find out how they thought, how they felt, to understand how to develop the mindset of a high-level athlete. That was in 2017 when I created the Athlete Mentality page. And that page has a single focus: help athletes to develop what I call the winner mindset. Almost 4 years went by and I continue to develop the method and the strategies in a system that brings all of those things together in an easy way to apply if the athlete has the desire of becoming a high-level athlete. I learned a lot of things that didn't work out, tested a lot of stuff that was worthless. It took me a lot of time to understand what worked and what didn't work for athletes. It's important that you understand. Throughout your life as an athlete, there will be more and more challenges that you face. And as things gets harder, your mindset must get better and stronger. Problems that you are not facing now might come tomorrow. When the pressure increases and there are higher and higher challenges for you to deal with, these things will demand more focus, more strength, more confidence, more commitment from you. As I said in the last video of the challenge, the athletes that don't learn how to deal with their emotions, how to play under pressure, won't be able to achieve the height stages. But I'm really glad that you are here now. It means that you are committed to develop the winner mindset. You want to become a high-level athlete. As LeBron James said, sports are way over 50% mental, probably around 80%. It is a fact that if you commit yourself to develop the right mentality, you're gonna be ahead of 90% of the athletes that are trying to reach the same goals as you are. Because just a few athletes open their eyes about those things, and this is not something anyone shares. And one of the most important steps for you to develop the winner mentality and to make more progress than your competitors is to enter the zone of flow. This is the topic of today's video. Entering the zone of flow is all about a process. You must follow steps that will get you there. We all know that games, tournaments, and even practice can be very stressful. I bet it has occurred to you, you practice a specific movement, just like a free throw or taking a penalty, and when it comes to the game, when the pressure is involved, it's much harder to make it the same way you did it on practice. You start overthinking about how to do it, you get nervous, anxious, and your chances of making it right dramatically decrease. The reason why it's so different is because you were in a friendly environment before. Maybe you were alone or at home or even with your team, and it becomes much easier to perform movements when you are in a friendly environment. So you just could be there without any worries and all of your focus was present in the moment. There was no big expectations to distract your thoughts, so you can easily focus on what you had to do and follow the process that you are used to do when performing a skill. At that moment, you are probably at the zone of flow. You were all focused on the situation you were doing. The movements that you practice a lot and you know exactly how to do it, when you are in the zone of flow, they just happen naturally without any effort. But when you are competing, there's so much pressure involved. Your opponents, the pressure, your teammates blaming you, your coach yelling at you, and a lot of other things. You start thinking that you must make it correctly, and that makes you to get stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, and you end up not doing the exercise, not doing the skill in the way you should or in the way that you did before. The key is to be fully involved with an activity and not looking directly for it. It's a paradox. The more you force to get into the zone, the less likely you are to get into the zone. This zone is where happiness and high performance meet. It is the most utopic state for a human being. Out of this state is where the most extraordinary things happen in life. How you interpret the situation determines if you are going to become immersed in the activity or you're going to try to run away from it. This process starts when you achieve conscientiousness about the thoughts that you have on your mind. The forces that shape our experiences are the things that determine if you're going to see something as good or bad, as stressful or enjoyable, and as threatening or welcoming. You are not in control of the situations that happen to you. You don't know if you're gonna win or lose the game, but you can choose how you interpret those situations. And the way you interpret them is going to determine if you are able to get into the zone of flow or not. If you interpret something as being threatening, you're going to try to run away from it when it happens again. And in this video, I'm gonna bring you some steps that you can easily apply into your life that will make it easier for you to perform in competition the same way you do in practice. This video will be the key step for you to stop being great in practice and average on competition. This is another step for you to develop the winner mindset. An athlete or musician didn't choose their physical attributes or their childhood experiences. However, they chose how they're going to approach to every competition. How your mind filters these activities will determine if you can get into the zone of flow or not. Whenever you think about the zone of flow, think of you as a kid, how you embraced each activity that you had. You didn't get stressed, you felt in control of the situation, you enjoyed what you were doing, and the situation was a goal itself. You didn't need any reward to do the things you were doing. How different from this is your performance on competition today? Of course that it's much harder to achieve the same stages when there's competition, when you don't have control of the situation, when there are people involved with it, but despite all of those things, you can learn how to get into the zone of flow. Maybe you do not feel in control of the situation because you are trying to control the wrong things, you are trying to control the results. However, if you focus on the things that you can control, you are much more likely to get into the zone of flow. For example, you can focus on things that you can control, such as your effort, your confidence, your motivation, your communication, and many other things. And the truth is, there are many drills that can help you with that. These things are not the exact outcome that you want, but the more you focus on those things, the more likely you are to achieve the outcomes you want, such as scoring or winning. The more you focus on making the right cross, making the right pass, and running as much as you should, you derive your focus from the things that you should be focusing on, from your process goals, and focus on the outcome goals. This will bring you more stress and anxiety. The zone of flow is the outcome of the optimal mentality. And these here are the steps for achieving the zone of flow consistently. 1. Immediate feedback. This is about knowing if the things you are doing takes you to your goal or not. For example, that pass that you made, was it the right decision or not, and why? Another example is your training. It's important to know if it's helping you to get better or not. Also, it's important to mention here that this feedback is used for providing instructions if what you are doing is good or not, but not to judge yourself. This is a tool for adapting your process, adapting your actions to move closer to your goals. Another key step in here is knowing where your feedback comes from. If you're listening to everybody, you're gonna get lost. It's important to choose a few people to get feedbacks from, and it's also important that these people are capable of giving you the right feedbacks. In the next video, I'll talk about how you can become more coachable, and I will show you a strategy, a tool, an exercise that will help you to get a better feedback from your coach. There will be always someone telling you that what you did was not the right decision and telling that you are not getting enough and you should do something differently. However, if you did what a coach expected from you, that's a reason to praise yourself and to feel good about your performance. Being in the present moment is essential for anything you want to do great in life. Only with these you can do things with focus, attention, and purpose, and this is key for achieving a high level of performance. But how can you become a more present athlete? There are two main things for that: practicing mindfulness consistently and using process goals. By fully concentrating on your breath, you are able to bring your attention to the present moment and create a place between action and responses. Also, the more you practice mindfulness, the more you become present. Mindfulness meditation is essential for this, because every time you do it, you are bringing your focus to the present moment. It may be hard at first, but it gets easier as you go. It's just like any other thing that you start to do in your life. Just be patient. The more you try, the more you are able to enter to the zone of flow, because you are practicing being focused at one thing at a time, the present moment. 3. Feel challenged and competent. The relationship between your skills and the challenge of the situation you are in must be fair. If the situation is too hard in comparison to your skills, you're going to not perform well and feel stressed about it. If your skills are much higher than the challenge you are in, you're gonna get bored and not make any progress. The number for this is 4%. Challenge must exceed your skills by 4% only. That means that if your skills are level 100, the challenge must be level 104. And that is because if your challenge exceeds your skills just for a little bit, you're gonna make yourself to achieve that level and improve yourself. And also, by feeling challenged, you enter the zone of flow more easily because of the dopamine that is released, but this is a subject for another video. You can move both variants to match the perfect level for you. If your skills are higher than your challenge, you can create personal challenge inside your competition to make you more excited and to make yourself to improve. If you are too much better than your competitors, you can maybe try to play with better touches, using your weak foot, or trying different things that makes it more exciting to play that competition. Think about some athletes that break their own records. They are focused on another thing besides beating the competition. If they focus on that, they become comfortable and just win over and over again without breaking their records. On the other side, if your challenge is higher than your skills, it's time for you to decide new challenge, to commit yourself to new challenge and adapt your expectations towards your performance. For example, if you expect yourself to score too many goals and the reality is your competition is better than you and you are not likely to score goals, it's important to adapt your expectations, focus on a new role, focus on new tasks, and praise yourself for accomplishing those smaller things. If the relationship is not fair, you are much less likely to make progress. When you find the optimal level, the 4% difference, you are going to make progress much faster and get into the zone of flow much more easily. Think of this middle line as the highway for progress. If you're not in there, you are not moving as fast as you could. 4. Measuring your progress. Knowing that you are making progress makes you more motivated to see your progress, commit yourself, and continue to make more progress. The sense of accomplishing something that you set for yourself releases dopamine into your body, and it is a key component of motivation. If you want to become someone that is constantly on the zone of flow, it's important that you constantly release dopamine into your body, as it improves concentration, focus, creativity, and strength. You can do this by keeping a journal or tracking your habits in a spreadsheet. 5. Continue to develop skills. Flow is a constant process, not something you own. You never own the characteristics of flow. You must sustain them. And for that to happen, you must continue in the process of development. The more you develop yourself, the more you accomplish your goals. The more you accomplish your goals, the more dopamine you release into your body. The more dopamine you release, the more motivated you get. The more motivated you get, the more you accomplish goals, and you create a vicious cycle of achieving goals, making progress, and getting into the zone of flow. As I explained before, dopamine is a key component for getting into the zone of flow because it increases your focus, attention, creativity, and strength. 6. Have desire and process goals. This step is consisted of knowing your desire, know what you want to accomplish, that is, to win the game, but not focusing on it, and instead focus on the process that takes you there, which is called the process goals. If you focus on making the right kick or making the right run or making the right throw, you're much closer, you're much more likely to accomplish whatever you want, that is, to win the game or to score, to make a point, than if you focus on doing it directly. If you focus too much, I want to score this goal, you make yourself more anxious and motivated to achieve the outcome. Instead, if you focus on the process of it, despite the end result, you're much closer, you're much more likely to make whatever you want. 7. Control your attention and control your psych energy. Controlling what you focus on plays a key role on getting to the zone of flow. The more you focus on positive things and information about the competition, the closer you get to it. However, the more you think about stressful and threatening situations or things unrelated to the game, the further away you get from it. Again, meditation is a key step for this. Meditation will help you along in this process, in this step as well. It will help you to develop more and more focus throughout time. The key with all of this is to develop the autotelic personality. It is the one that transforms challenging situations into enjoyable moments. When we train our brains, we are teaching our minds to react to similar situations in a different way. For example, you can teach your brain to attribute pleasure to the pain of stretching, because that is good for you, but it's painful. However, you can make yourself to perceive the situation in a different way. Also, another key step is to learn how to interpret challenging situations and stressful moments into opportunities to learn and develop yourself. That is what made Michael Jordan to become who he is. Instead of allowing his failures into proofs of his lack of ability and proofs that he's not good enough for making it to the highest level, he took those opportunities and transformed them into opportunities to improve himself and to become a better athlete. And what makes him to do those things is the winner mindset. You are not made of your skills or talent. You are made of what you do to overcome your challenge. Because, as I said before, you are going to face difficulties along your journey. But what determines if you are going to make it or not is how you approach to it, how you perceive the situation. And you have two options when you're facing those. You can either find a way to overcome those, or you can allow them to come to your way and stop you from becoming the best athlete you can be. Everything that you have been learning on this challenge has a deeper side, but I don't have enough time to go further with them. These are the steps in your journey to develop the winner mindset. Right now, you are in the second step of this ladder. When my Instagram started to grow, a lot of athletes came to me asking several kinds of questions, such as how can I become more confident, how can I become more motivated, how can I become better in practice and in games, how can I become more focused, and a lot of other things. But unfortunately, I don't have time to help everybody. So I created the Winner Mindset Blueprint, which is a book I created a few years ago that contains several drills and exercises to improve the mentality and to become a better athlete. This book was sold for hundreds of athletes around several countries of the world, and you can get this book anytime that you want. It's always open for sale. Years later, as I discovered more things, I developed myself, I created better systems, I created the Winner Mindset course. This course is a complete step-by-step to develop the winner mindset. The course contains many more things than the blueprint. And I'm not saying that the blueprint is not good enough. The blueprint is great and it has helped hundreds of athletes. But the course is an improved version of the blueprint. However, the spots for the course are not always open. Unfortunately, I can't allow anyone to come at any time inside the course. It's a process and the process must have a strategy to follow. This year, it's the first time that I'm opening spots for more athletes to get into the course. And this opportunity is exclusive for those athletes that want to have a clear step-by-step process to develop the winner mindset. More motivated, less stressed, more confident, and many other aspects of the mindset of the highest level athletes. You are here participating of the challenge and you can skip a step of this ladder. You don't necessarily need to acquire the winner mindset blueprint. After all that is included in the blueprint is improved on the course. I'm giving you the chance to follow a method that is ready and it was made especially for people like you, people who want to develop the right mentality for achieving big things on sports. It has been tested by several athletes and it shows you exactly what to do to develop the right mentality, how to deal with anxiety, stress, laziness, and much more. You can choose between starting a new phase of your life right now, overcoming the difficulties that are standing between you and your goals, and develop the skills that were never taught before, as your mind was not allowing you to do it. Or you can also choose to do the same I did. Spend years of your life doing research, reading books, analyzing those books, testing strategies, seeing what's working and what doesn't work, and then apply it for your life. You can even go to college and study psychology, but you don't have to do that. It's your choice. You also get access to our Facebook group where we discuss how things should be done. I record videos answering the questions that the athletes in the course have to better help them, to better guide them with this process and make the most out of the course. I want to make sure that every athlete gets full attention during this process because I know that this can change your life. Just pay attention. The spots for the course are closing soon. So if you want to continue your development, there's a link on the description of this video. Go there, find out more about what the course is about and what you're going to improve when you enroll it, and if it makes sense to you, join it before it's too late. The next time I open spots, it's gonna cost more. In the last video of the Winner Mindset Challenge, you are going to learn the main characteristics of successful athletes. The characteristics that if you develop, you are much more likely to achieve the same stage as the highest level athletes did.